Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Berjumpa lagi, okay. In lesson 05, week 6, part 2. Alright, so continue with part 2. That is group rows using group by and also having clause. Alright, so let's move to the next slides. Okay, so for this one, creating groups of data. Until this point of discussions, all groups functions have treated the table as one large groups of informations. Okay, so meaning that they treated the table as one large group. Okay, so all the information will based on that table. At times, however, you need to divide table of information into smaller groups. So for example, like this is one group, another group, this is another group, this is another group, this is another group. Okay, so meaning that it will divide the table into a smaller group. Okay, like this example. This can be done by using the clause, the group by clause. So we can use the group by. So from table employees, and it will produce output something like this, right? Okay, so it will be based on the department's ID here. Alright, so let's move to the next one. Okay, so this is the creating groups of data and group by clause, right? We can select columns, column group functions, group functions column from any table, where conditions, if and then also group by expressions. Okay, so we are going to use this group by syntax, clause or syntax. Okay, and then maybe you can order the column. Order mean sort. Okay, that one we will talk later. Okay, you can divide rows into in a table into a smaller group by using a group by clause. Okay, guidelines for this one. If you include group functions in the select clause, okay, listen carefully. If you include a group function, what is group functions? For example, from the previous part 1, mean, max, average, and so on. Okay, refer back to part 1. If you include a group function in a select clause, select means here, right? You cannot select individual results as well. Okay, unless the individuals column appear in the group by. Okay, I will explain later. What is this? Okay, you receive error message if you fail to include the column list in the group by clause. Okay, so later we look into the examples. Okay, using a where clause, you can exclude row before dividing them into a group. We can exclude the row, and also you must include the columns in the group by clause. And the next one, you cannot use column alias in the group by clause. Okay, this is the guidelines. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay. Alright, so for this example, all columns in the select list that are not in the group functions must be in the group by clause. Okay, apa makna dia? What this means? Okay, apa maksud dia? Alright, so for example, select department ID and also average salary. This is group function. Okay, group functions in the select clause. Alright, so all columns in the select list, this is the select list, that are not in the group functions. Okay, so meaning that this is the column that is not in the group function. Okay, this one is group function, must be in the group by clause. So meaning that we must put this column into the group by function. Okay, alright, so that's the rules. Alright, you need to divide the table of information into a smaller group. So I repeat again. So for this example, this is column department ID, this is column salary, right? So this column is a group function. Okay, clear. And this column is in the select list, but this is not in the group function. So you must put the column that is not group function in the group by clause. Okay, so that's the examples. Okay, so itu makna dia. Maksud dia, meaning that you all need to understand. So any column that is not group functions, okay, must be put in the group by. Okay, so in this example, it will produce, okay, this is department ID, and then department ID will be group by, so null, 90, 20, 110, okay, 50, 80, and so on. And this is the average salary for each group, based on department ID. Alright, so let's move to the next one, another examples. Okay, the group by column, listen carefully, the group by column does not have to be in the select list. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, the group by column does not have to be in the select column. Okay, so this is group by, this is column. Okay, what does it mean is this department ID is not necessarily put in the select clause. Itu makna dia. Maksud dia, saya ulang. Maksud dia, the group by column, okay, this is the group by column. Which one is the group by column? Department ID, okay, and does not have to be in the select list. Tidak semestinya perlu berada di dalam select list. So maksud dia dekat sini tak perlu letak department underscore ID. Alright, tak perlu. Tapi if we look into the previous examples, okay, if let's say you already put the department ID, the column in the select, so this column must be in the group by. Otherwise, it will produce error. Okay, I will see later. Alright, so if this is the example, alright, so this is the output. But if let's say we put something like this, right, so it looks like it is like defeat the purpose. So we don't know. This is average for which column? We don't know this average for which column. So better put department ID in the select clause, select clause. Okay. So in this example, it mentioned that the select statement display the average salaries for each department without displaying the respective department number. Okay. Without the department number, however, the result do not looks meaningful. So the result does not do not looks meaningful. So we don't know this average salary is for what, for which columns. Okay, so better put department ID in the select clause. Okay, but if let's say you like terlupa and so on, to put the department ID in the select, so it doesn't matter, but it still can produce output. Cuma the difference is the result do not looks meaningful. Okay, let's move to the next one. Using the group by clause, okay, you can also use the group functions in the order clause. Okay, so we can use the group functions in the order clause. So for this example, select department ID, average salary from employees, group by department ID. Okay, so this is the rules number 1. And before this, if let's say you put department in the select clause, you must put this department in the group by. Okay, then we can order by average salary. This is group function. Okay, this is group function. So meaning that here group function. Alright, so we can put group functions in the order by clause instead of from the previous examples. We put average or any group functions in the selects clause. So we can put group functions either in selects or also order by. Okay, so for this example, it will produce the output something like this. Okay, based on department ID, and it will display all the departments average salary. Okay, sort in ascending because order by is not mentioned ascending or descending. So by default, it will sort by ascending order. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Grouping by more than one column. Okay, employees, we have table employees and also add the salaries in the employees table for each job group by department. Alright, so add the salaries in the employees table for each jobs group by the department. So this is the department, this is the job, and this is the sums of salary. So we can group by more than one column. So meaning that we can use group by more than one column, not only one column. So in this example, we can use group by for department ID and also job ID. Okay. Alright, so this is the syntax. Okay, the statements using the group by clause on multiples column. So of course, so in this example, there's something wrong in this example. Okay, so select department ID. Okay, so this one. Okay, so department ID, we make a column alias here, dpt underscore ID, and then if let's say you put column alias, okay, so this must be in the group by. Alright, so if kalau tidak, if not, it will make a mistake, right? So please be careful. Alright, so kalau if let's say you not consider this as a column alias, please remove this. Okay, so if let's say you put something like this, make sure this department ID will put inside here. Alright, so be careful. Okay, so select department ID, right? Job ID. So department ID is here, job ID is here, and this is group function sum salary from employees group by these two column. Number one is department ID, number two is job ID, and order by department ID. So this is what we call group by clause on multiples column. So multiples column means column number one is department ID, column number two is job ID. So it will produce the output something like this: department ID number one, job ID number two, and this is the group function sum salary. So this is all the outputs. Okay, alright. So let's move to the next one. Okay, using the group by clause on multiples columns. This is the rules and regulations. Okay, using the group by clause on multiples column. Okay, number one, you can return summary result for groups and subgroup by listing more than one group by column. You can determine the default sort order of the result by the order of columns in the group by clause, and also the examples in the previous slides, the select statement contain a group by clause is evaluated as follow. Okay, so in this example, dia akan beritahu which one, dia akan baca dahululah. So for number one, dia kata apa? The select clause specified the column to be retrieved. Column number one is department number, column number two is job ID, and column number three is the sums of salary. So this is column number one, this is column number two, this is column number three. Right. The from clause specified the tables that database must access and the employee, okay, from table as employee, and the group by clause specifies specifies how you must group the rows. Okay, first the rows are grouped by the department number, and then second followed by the job ID, and next is it will sum. The function is applied in the salary column for all job IDs in each department's group. Okay, so it will group this one first, then job ID. So the sum is calculated based on the salary column for all job ID. Okay, okay, so in each department groups. Okay, so this is what we call multiple column. Multiple column. So we can group the clause based on using a multiple column. Clause on multiple column. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Alright, so what is wrong with this statement? Okay. Alright, so illegal queries using group functions, right? Any columns or expressions in the select list that is not an aggregate function must be in the group by clause. Okay, so in these examples, okay, like the previous one, we already know if let's say we have a column here, department ID, and we have group functions here, count, last name, from employees. If let's say we just put the statement something like this, it will produce error. Okay, because when we have group functions here, and we have another column here, so this column must be put in the group by here, group by department underscore ID. Okay, so the answer is something like this. Alright, so we select department, count last name from employees. So this department must be put in the group by clause. Okay, if not, it will produce an error. Something like this, it will produce an error. Okay, okay. So the next examples. Select department ID, job ID, count last name from employee, group by department ID. See, so same goes to this one. So we have job ID here. So this job ID must be in the group by. So this is job ID. We must put job ID in the group by clause. Okay, something like this. Okay, so select department number ID, job ID from count last name from employees, group by department ID, and also job ID based on this select clause. Okay, if not, it will produce error. Okay, so either add job in the group by or remove the job column from the select list. Okay, so maksud dia kat sini ada dua solution. Yang pertama, put this inside the group by, ataupun just remove je job ID ni. Okay, terpulang. So kalau kita tak remove, dia akan buat multiple column lah. Kalau kita remove, dia akan dia tak akan support multiple column. Kalau kita tak remove, maksudnya we must put in the group by clause. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Okay, another illegal queries. You cannot use where clause to restrict a groups. Okay, instead of using where, you use the having clause to restrict groups. Okay, and then you cannot use group functions in the where clause. Okay, so listen carefully. So for these examples, right, we mention number one, let's say for example, select department ID. Okay, there is no there's some it's okay with this clause, average salary from employees. But then when we are using where, okay, so we mention that we cannot use group functions in the where clause. So this is the statement. You cannot use the where clause to restrict group. Restrict groups meaning that we are using group functions. All right, we cannot use where and plus average or any group functions. Okay, so instead of using where, we can change the where into having. So we can change the reserve words from where to having. Okay, so what is the solutions? However, you can correct the error in the example by using the having clause to restrict the group. Okay, so if in this example, select department ID, average salary from employees, group by department ID, okay, because of the column here, and we are using having, then we can use group function here. Average salary is more than 8,000. Okay, compared to this one, this is wrong. We cannot use where with the group functions to make a comparison. Okay, so instead of using where, we are using having. We are using having for restrictions. Having is for restrictions. Okay, so settle. You cannot use group functions in the where clause. Okay, so cannot use group functions in the where clause. So cannot use group functions in the where. So this is the example. Cannot use group functions in the where clause. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, restricting group result. Alright. The maximum salary per department when it is greater than 10,000. When it is greater than 10,000. Okay, so we can put something like this. Okay, restricting groups with the having clause. When you use the having clause, the Oracle server restrict group as follows. Okay, rows are groups. The group function is applied. Okay, group function means mean, minimum, maximum, average, and so on. Group matching the having clause are displayed. Okay, so this is the statements. Okay, select column, groups, from table, conditions, group by, having, and also order. Okay, so the having clause can precede the group by clause. Okay, maksud dia having ni tadi ni kita boleh letak sebelum group by. Tapi kalau dalam in this example, having comes after group by. But then you mention here, you can the having clause can precede the group by. Maksud dia boleh letak sebelum group by. But it is recommended that you place the group by clause first because it is more logical. Meaning that kita groupkan dulu, barulah kita buat group. Barulah kita groupkan. Kita groupkan dulu, barulah kita buat condition. Right? Baru kita bagi dia punya condition lah, lebih besar, lebih kecil, dan sebagainya. Okay. Group are forms and group functions are calculated before the having clause is applied to the group in the select list. Okay. So in this situation, dia kata apa? Having boleh kita letak sebelum group, tapi afdalnya kita letak after group by. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Okay, using the having clause. Alright, using the having clause, select department ID. Alright, maximum salary from employees, group by department ID because of this one. And next is we are going to use having for restriction. So maximum salary is more than 10,000. Okay, this is group functions. The whole clause for the restriction. So the examples display the department numbers and maximum salaries for those with the maximum salaries more than 10,000. Okay, so this is the output. It's quite simple here. Alright, so when you aware with the rules and regulations, okay, it become easier. Okay, so the next one, select department, average salary, employee from employees, group by department ID, please make sure here, and having maximum salary 10,000. Okay, so the example display the department numbers and average salaries for those department with a maximum salary 10,000. So all the salary must be maximum, more than 10,000. So average for the average with the minimum salary. Okay. Alright, so this is the example. Okay, so the next one, and move to the next one. Okay, using the having clause. Okay, the examples display the job's ID and total monthly salary for each job that has a total payroll exceeding 13,000. The example excludes sales representative and sort the list by the total monthly salary. Okay, so still going to use the same methods. Okay, select job ID. So please make sure job ID we put in the group by, sum salary, and then payroll is column alias for sum salary from employees where, okay, in this case we can use where, but where cannot combine with the group function. Okay, that's the only limitation. Okay, so where job ID is not like REP, is selain daripada REP, group by job ID having some salary is more than 13,000 and order by seller salary. So this is the output. Okay, so it looks like we follow the step by steps. Okay, so we group first and then make a restriction using having, and last one we order the sum salary. So we sort the salary using the order by. Okay, move to the next one. Okay, nesting groups, nesting group functions. I think this one. Okay, so let's stop part 2 for this lesson 05 week 6. Okay, group functions, and I will continue part 3 for nesting group functions. So with that, thank you very much. Okay, I will see you again in part 3 nesting group functions. Alright, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.